Jaguar XE was a long time coming. For years, we waited for a compact sedan from Jaguar, and then the XE finally gave us that in 2015. And true to the promise of being Jaguar, the XE gave us a dynamic, taut and very sporty sedan ready to challenge the benchmark BMW 3 Series. But while it did do that well on dynamics, its score on the luxury side of things fell short. But now with the facelift, the model year 2020 car is all set to change that. Before we get into those details, however, first the customary stuff. If it's a facelift, it's got to look kind of different, doesn't it?
So after making its debut globally in Geneva earlier in the year, the car is now ready for its India launch too. Now, as facelifts go, you do expect certain styling changes so that when you look at the car, you know that it is new and improved. And the big difference here in terms of what theme the design team was really going for, it's all about making the car look like it means business. And so the lights have gotten slimmer and they're all LED, and that's why they've gotten slimmer, or that's how they've been allowed to. It's the same with the tail light treatment as well, and the grille's wider, the bumper feels wider too, and that exaggerated width, well, again, moving away from being a little upright to being wider, so the car looks more planted, more in keeping with its character of being a sports sedan.
Yes, the look works. It also makes the car look more premium. The larger front grille and the new Feel Jaguar logo also add to that perceived sense of quality. The car is well finished and well built, and now that shows through. The car with us is the R Dynamic trim, so we won't be getting that. We would have the S and SE trims on the car, so no glossy black-edged grille or R Dynamic elements, but still the cars are looking more premium for sure.
Now, when the XE had first come out, nobody had a problem with how it looked. It was a pretty baby Jag. It drove phenomenally well. It was really the inside, the cabin, that was the big Achilles heel, and that's where Jaguar got a lot of stick. Lots of criticism in terms of just not looking the part of a luxury offering, and that's what it also had to be, remember. So what's been done on the inside is really what I think counts more than all the little changes that we've talked about on the outside, because it's a completely refreshed cabin. Every bit of material in here has been reworked, and that's both in terms of texture, color, trim and quality as well. And so you see that it's not as plasticky looking as it was. It looks a lot more refined, a lot more elegant, and in terms of the layout too, some of the tweaks on the dash make it look a little less heavy. You've also got a much wider touch screen over here in the middle, and the two dials and the panel for the climate control also looks kind of nice. It's updated. The rotary gear lever is gone, and so you've got, instead of that knob, now the sport shifter. You've also got a toggle switch now for the different drive modes rather than different buttons, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road. There's an improved head-up display, a little bit of a tweak on the virtual instrument cluster, and of course on the steering wheel too. So I have to say, the car looks a lot more swanky, a lot better put together, and a lot more appealing on the inside.
Yes, that virtual cluster and new interface on the InControl Touch Pro system is very slick. In other markets, the car gets Touch Pro Duo, meaning the lower console is also a touchscreen like in the Velar, etc. But India ain't getting that. Still, the single screen layout is also quite nice, and it doesn't deviate from the design on the layout with two screens. The rotary dial gear shift being replaced by the sporty shifter, we get that as being more in keeping with the car's character, but we are a bit torn on this. The rotary dial rising up when you would start the car was an aha moment for many, especially buyers stepping into Jaguar for the first time. But yeah, in the JLR universe, the shifter makes more sense on a car like the XE.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Well, just like they took all of that feedback on making the car more luxurious more seriously, Jaguar says they'd also listen to customers on the feedback on how the car drove, and that was an area where there was absolutely no complaint whatsoever. I tend to agree, because even though there are no mechanical changes, and typically in updates you expect one, here I don't think one was really needed. So you've got both the petrol and the diesel continuing as is. The ride and handling also continues as is, and that's the part of the car that's always been fun, because it does live up to being a nice sporty sedan.
The petrol engine is fun, but much more it's the handling and road manners of the car that will impress you more. The numbers do look good, but yes, while we get the 2-litre 4-cylinder Ingenium only, other markets do get more and less powerful variants. We got to drive the more powerful 297 bhp output version of the same engine on the R-Dynamic XE, and while it definitely drives better, we won't put too much into it since we won't be getting it anyway. The diesel will be the 2-litre Ingenium 2 with 178 bhp and 430 Nm of torque. Like the petrol, this too is rear-wheel drive only. Again, some markets do get an AWD option. The car is fairly well loaded in terms of driver aids and also gets torque vectoring for maximum control. It also still has the ASPC or All Surface Progress Control cruise control that monitors traction requirements and responds optimally. The car gets Eco, Comfort, Dynamic Rain, Ice, Snow driving modes. It's being assembled at JLR's Pune plant and so pricing is reasonably competitive. The Jaguar XE's prices start at 44,98,000 rupees ex-showroom India for the S model. The SE is priced at 46,32,000. The prices for both petrol and diesel are the same across both variants. Of course, needless to say, both engines are BS6 compliant. The great news is that XE becomes a lot more relevant and worthy of its tag now of a premium sports sedan. The dynamics remain great and the cabin has caught up to the plan. This makes the car more appealing, and there's enough here for the Indian buyer too. The rear being relatively cramped when compared to the newer BMW 3 Series, and even Audi 4 will be the big challenge for JLR in India, given most buyers in this segment remain largely chauffeur-driven. But from being out of the consideration set in many ways, the XE re-enters it in style. Now the onus is on JLR and its dealers to effectively take that message to buyers.
Now, in case you're wondering where I am in Dubai.